The body double. The German word doppelganger translates into English to something like body double. And the concept is not nearly as far-fetched as it might seem. And the body double, is the only one we actually recognize. It's like seeing our own shadow, but not being able to see our own self, our own true nature. And by double here, I mean just that what is not true, what is not actual, a reflection. So our double is entirely made up of our expressions, our speculations, and whatever else we have conceptually been able to kind of cobble together to get through life. We dream up what we cannot actually find in reality, or we think we should, or the way we should be, and then we proceed to reify it, to pretend that it's real. And we do this. The rather amazing part is that this body double image, this merely made up and virtually conceptual image of the world, is unfortunately the only one most of us know. The true reality, that which the body double is based on, at best is only perhaps dimly sensed by us, dimly intuited, certainly not realized. Otherwise, there would be no body double, but only body singular, the true nature of reality, not dualistic. That is what realization is all about. Realizing, making something real, deconstructing what is unnecessarily conceptual. The stunner here is that the true reality, the actual nature of our mind, it is not somewhere, at the end of some long spiritual journey. That, as all the wise folks tell us, it's right here and right now. And it's always been like that. So, in other words, we are already it. We're it, but we don't know it. We don't realize what we are. And it's hard to find something if you're already it. Try as we might. Try finding yourself. I guess that's the way of saying it. It's like the other day when I looked everywhere for my glasses, my reading glasses, and finally I found them right on the top of my head. It's like if you ever felt like putting on some music and then realized that the music was already playing. That's what realization is like. We realize. However, I'm afraid that this concern for a body double is just a little more complicated than what I just outlined above. For one, we continually create and reinforce our conceptual body double, the very thing that we personally have made up. It's an integral part of the self. And what I don't want to be crude, it's like that old saying, polishing a turd. All eyes are on the conceptual double, which is literally defined by our fixations. So, whatever Dharma practice we do, one of the desired results has to be somehow transmigrating our identity from the double, the purely conceptual, to the actual. This is termed realization. And that's literally the point of all Dharma practice, to realize the actual nature of the mind and to stop flying blind by depending on our conceptuality alone. Now, as I say around here, the fact of business is that by this point in our life trajectory, we probably don't know anything other than what we have made up from our expectations and then what we proceeded to reify, to make real, and then depend on. So it should be not too hard for us to grasp it somehow, sometime and somewhere. We have to begin to transfer our ID, our identification, from our this so-called body double to the non-dual reality of what actually is. And I hope that makes sense. This habitual fixation on our body double, on all our conceptual things, is really an addiction beyond any awareness of the reality that's right there staring us in the face. We just persist in our distraction. Since we already happen to be what we're looking for, it's hard to both look for something and find it at the same time. This is why there are so many koans in the Zen Buddhist tradition, and also the elaborate pointing out instructions of the Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhists. It's very, very difficult to distract us from our age-old habitual distractions. In other words, we're so addicted to watching our own movie that we would rather just watch than to live. Now, another subtle Dharma realization is grounding our conceptual expectations in reality. It's kind of like where the rubber meets the road. And realization, what is that? What is it that realization realizes? Realization realizes that just as we merge two apparently separate images in a pair of binoculars, so that there finally is only one image in actuality, we have to do the same things with our spiritual dualisms. Yet with spiritual realization, we don't even have two images to work with, but just that one image. That one image, the body double, is kind of a ghost image at that. And please don't confuse what I'm calling the body double here with the traditional etheric body of the esoterists. Our body double is just a reflection of the true reality, just a reflection of a reality we have never realized, so that reflection is all that we know. It's kind of like backing into the future by looking at the reflection in the rear view mirror of reality, the reflection of the reality in a rear view mirror. We have to somehow turn all this around and head in the direction of recognizing the actual nature of the mind just as it is. The reflection of reality is just that. It's a reflection, a body double, and it's not the true nature of the mind itself. Here's a little poem I wrote some years ago that kind of addresses this. It's called Karma Mirror. According to the Dharma, the world, just as I see it, is my reflection, a perfect mirror of the mind, reflecting karma, my every thought and action. Karma is pure result, the outer reflection of an inner reality that once ripened cannot be altered. No matter how carefully I choose my words, no matter how right I get my mind, no matter how close I hold my tongue, no matter how slyly I take a peek, I always see only myself peeking. The world looks back whenever I look, and as clever as I am, even I can't sneak up on a mirror.